One thing that you'll notice that is a bit different with a DVE process map compared to everyone else's is we treat our systems a little bit differently. Now, this is technically not in line with traditional BPM that you might have learnt in other training, but I'm going to talk to you about it because we find it is so helpful and adds so much value that if you want to do yours that way, like that's perfectly fine as well. What we do is right down the bottom here, we add a system swim lane. So instead of showing the system within the area swim lane that we're working with, we're literally adding a swim lane for the system. Now, we vary that. If it's an individual system, we might have each specific system if that's what we're really looking at, or if it doesn't really matter what the system is, we might just put them in a generic system swim lane. What you'll notice then is our data shape, which is that funny rhombus, you see that in the actual system swim lane. And then what we do is we show an arrow coming in to the data shape or an arrow going out of the data shape. And that's how we signify information going into or out of a system. Any of those referenced are from the process step itself. So if you see, for example, let me grab one. So if you see on this one, it's a little bit far away, but we've got the system swim lane here. The step here is update student admin database, and there's an arrow going down into update against student record. So you can see the person updating the student database is the Student Services Centre, and then the system it's going into is the student admin database, and it's going into the student record. So that's just something a little bit different. You might want to do it that way, you might not, but if you do, that's how we do it. So any of our maps, you'll see that. The reason we do it that way is because it is then really easy to separate the people from the system. Because a lot of the time when BPI is done, it's often in line with a system implementation. If a system's being implemented, there's often a lot of focus on the technical and on the system itself. What we like to do is actually think about the impact of that on the processes and the people. And wherever possible, you want to build the system around an ideal process, not the reverse, which is just putting a process in that suits the system. You can't always do that, but if you can, that's good. What this enables you to do is to skim along the bottom there and see what's every touch point with the system. You can imagine that's handy if you're looking at changing a system specifically. You can run along and go, okay, there are all the process steps that might be different because that's where the touch points are.